up, everybody? We back at it like Craftmatics, yo, with your favorite WCW Cha-Cha Mystique. And tonight, we on our part 2 of this Triple Decker Wednesday with the hip-hop legend, iconic Hakim Green in the building, Channel Live's own. Yes, we're going to be talking with him about a lot of the stuff that he does in the community, his new TV, Mattism TV. You know, I just seen him, I think like a month ago. Shout out to Tyreek Buds. He be throwing dope events and also honoring our legends, our hip-hop legends. And he's here, he's in the building, you know, and I got to see him perform recently, and it was really dope. Hold on. We're gonna get. Hello.
Peace. How are you?
Yes, I'm fine. I'm doing great. I feel blessed and honored, you know, having you on my show. Such a dope figure, contributor to the culture, hip-hop culture. And I just want to take this time out to salute you before we get anything started.
Man, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you for inviting me on your platform. It's so good to be appreciated. And, you know, it's my pleasure, my honor. Thank you, sis.
Yes, I mean, you are part of the soundtrack to my life, and I feel like it's only right. You know, it's only right. Yeah. So, I want to spend a few moments just to get to the beginning for people who may not be familiar with who you are and all of that. I just want to take this time out to really honor that. So, for the record, can you tell everybody who you are and what you do?
All right. So, my name is Hakim Green, Channel Live and Direct. BDP all day,
all day,
and all we do.
Yeah, it's Sparkmanism. You about to make me go get my stash? Shit.
Gotta be good.
Yeah.
We doing an interview with Hakim Green Channel Live. You're supposed to have your little stash right there.
I was, but you know, I'm trying to be professional. You know, because sometimes I can get a little bit too raw. You know.
Hey, I got the raw. Let's get raw.
Oh, okay, hold on, give me 1 second.
Oh, baby, I like it raw. RAW, a terrorist here to bring trouble.
Yeah, I got the OG.
I see how you doing it. I love it. And then I'm loving.
Shout out to Mary's Pots. That's my brand.
Oh, yeah. And I'm loving the hoop earrings too. Taking it back to '88 on them like that, Queen. I'm seeing you. I'm fresh, super fresh.
It's the culture. It's the car. I have to pay homage. I had to wear these tonight. I really did.
Yes, ma'am. I love it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. So can you tell us about Channel Live and Tough? Was it Tough and how did you even meet each other? How did all that stuff started?
Right.
Tell the story. I'm listening. I'm gonna go get my rolling papers. It's right over there. But start the story.
Okay. And we was battling Watch Up. I said, yo, it'd be dope if you come on as thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you for inviting me on your platform. So it's so good to be appreciated, and you know, it's my pleasure, my honor. Thank you, sis.
Yes, I mean, you are part of the soundtrack to my life, and I feel like it's only right. You know, it's only right. Yeah. So I want to spend a few moments just to get to the beginning for people who may not be familiar with who you are and all of that. I just want to take this time out to really honor that. So, for the record, can you tell everybody who you are and what you do?
All right, so my name is Hakim Green, Channel Live and Direct, BDP, all day,
all day,
and all we do.
Yeah, it's Sparkmanism.
Manism.
You about to make me go get my stash? Shit.
Gotta be good.
Yeah.
You doing the interview with Hakim Green Channel Live. You supposed to have your little stash right there.
I was, but I'm trying to be professional. Because sometimes I can get a little bit too raw.
Hey, I got the raw. Let's get raw.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Give me 1 second.
Oh, baby, I like it raw. R-A-W, the terrorist here to bring trouble.
Yeah, I got the OG.
Yeah, I see how you doing it. I love it. And then I'm loving.
Shout out to Mary's Pots. That's my brand.
Oh, yeah. And I'm loving the hoop earrings too. Taking it back to '88 on them like that, Queen. I'm seeing y'all. That's fresh, super fresh.
It's the culture. It's the car. I have to pay homage. I had to wear these tonight. I really did.
Yes, ma'am. I love it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. So can you tell us about Channel Live and Tough? Was it Tough and how did you even meet each other? How did all that stuff started?
Right.
Tell the story. I'm listening. I'm gonna go get my rolling papers. It's right over there. But start the story.
Okay, so I was a transfer student at Montclair State College in 1989. I went to Wagner College on Staten Island for 2 years, and I transferred to my home state school of Montclair. And I met Tuffy at a college party, actually battling Wyclef and Proswell from the Fugees before the Fugees. And it was like the battle of the light-skinned niggas versus the dark-skinned niggas, so to speak. And that's how we met, battling Wyclef and Proswell. And then I was doing some background dancing for a few artists at the time. Nicole Folks, rest in peace, my sister, and then another female rapper named Princessa, who had a big pop hit called Show Me How to Dance. So before I went to Montclair State, I was already traveling the country, really the world, dancing, background dancing, doing my school with Scrap 1-2, the legends, respect to them. And I used to dance for Naughty by Nature back when they were the new style. I went to high school with Naughty by Nature. And when I met Tough and we was battling Watch Up, I said, yo, it'd be dope if you come on as a background dancer with me, looking for another dancer. And then he joined up and we started traveling together with this artist, Princessa. And then he joined me dancing for Naughty when they were the new style. And then we had a production deal with a company out of Character Production. Big shout out to Charles and Troy. But they were going more of the R&B route. They had a group called The Formula, which a member of The Formula was Carl Thomas. And,
okay.
Yeah, so because they were going more that R&B route, they dropped us. And then, so I was a school teacher from 1990 to 94. I started an after-school program with my
Wait, before you move forward, when you was telling those beginner stages, you were saying that you was battling Wyclef before there was even the Fugees. You was dancing with Tresh, Naughty by Nature and stuff like that. Did you know that it was gonna blow? And it seems like all you New Jerseyans know each other. So, did you think that y'all was gonna make it this far, when y'all started all of that?
I mean, you had the fire, you was in the culture, you going to the clubs, you dancing, turning into MC, and everybody's freestyling, and you kind of just doing it because that's what you do. And then you have this goal set for yourself to get a record deal. And, that's what it was, just, the people, the energy around me, going to the club, seeing an Andre Harrell, seeing a Russell Simmons, seeing, all these greats, having like arms reach access to them, makes you want to go. I could do that too. And that's kind of what it was. Seeing Naughty by Nature blow up off of OPP. Like, I went to high school with these guys. Me and KG was in the same homeroom class. He's the one who introduced me to BDP before I knew what a BDP was. So to see them go from a dream that started at my senior year talent show to having one of the biggest records ever, it was like, man, you could do it too. And that's what put the battery in your back to go ahead and make it happen. And that's what.
So you said you became a teacher.
Yeah.
Like, what was it? Did you came to a point where you felt like you wanted to quit, like it wasn't coming to you fast enough, or you always wanted to teach people regardless?
I mean, I always worked with young people, always worked with children. I was a camp counselor back in the 80s. just my personality. Anybody that knows me knows I like to share information. So it was kind of like a natural thing. While I'm going to college, I need to make some money. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't in the street like that, or trying to be in the street like that. So it was like, okay, go.
Okay, so was you a good kid trying to be bad, or a bad kid trying to be good, and it just worked out good?
Nah, I just, I was just me. Like, I come up at a time when, the gang shit really wasn't like that. I saw crack tear my community up. I came up in the 70s, so I already know what heroin did to us. My mom put me on early. This is what happens when you get caught up in that life, right? And crackhead, I see all my friends, my cousins, like people who are close to me, either get addicted, go to jail, whatever. And you're able to stand back. I was, an athlete, or at least I thought I was, and that gave me an outlet to do other things. So I didn't really, my time was occupied, and then going to college at Wagner, staying close to the city, coming up in the culture as a dancer, but still like I'm in the knowledge. I'm reading books. I'm Dr. Ben, John Henry Clark, Ivan Van Sertima, Runoko Rashidi. Rest in peace, he just passed away. These are great minds, great people in the black community who, like, this is 1988, 89, 90. Like, when you be old.
And that was like in the height of the crack era. That was in the height of the crack era, too. Like,
in the height of the crack era. Now, see, I'm looking at, like, the drug dealers. I'll be honest with you. I hate drug dealers. Like, crack dealers, I hate them niggas. I hate them niggas. Like, them niggas fucked up my shit. Like, my loved ones, my people I love, whether they got locked up selling the shit, murdered, trying to whatever, got addicted, and their life got thrown out the window. Y'all niggas work for the cops, as far as I'm concerned. Snitching, we talking about snitching, nigga, you work for the police. Like, you work when you know counterintelligence program, when you know Nixon's war on drugs, when you know how they use heroin, crack, cocaine, flood the black community to give a reason to lock us up. If you fall into that, you working for them. So whatever happens is what happens. After that, now, it is what it is. But seeing that go down in these stars up close, and then also having access to all this knowledge, this wealth of knowledge. You see, Rob Rocco is now currently the mayor of Newark, New Jersey. We do a yearly peace festival called 24 Hours of Peace in Newark, New Jersey.
Wait, you jumping it. You want to get there. Yeah, you slow down just a little bit.
But it's like, stuff like that is because our minds was in a certain place in the late 80s, 90s, when all this other shit was going on. Certain folks kind of stayed focused, and even though it wasn't cool, it wasn't trendy, it wasn't popular, it wasn't the popping thing, you maintain who you are in this shit, and you just keep pushing forward. And that's why our music is the way it is, because there's certain people who inspired us, like the Public Enemies, the KRS-Ones, of course, the X-Clans, like there was the message that was tied to the culture. It was deeply rooted. So even if you was in the street, we went from, bamboo earrings, MCM, Gucci, Louis Vuitton, to red, black, and green, kente cloth. We went from like that because the music had the message and the people just tuned in. And it'd be nice to see that happen again. I think there are a lot of people out there who are trying to maintain that ethic and that principle, but everybody.
What do you feel like was a defining moment, or even the defining song that changed that landscape? Because even though they would like to say that NWA and folks like that, the gangster rap, but if you really listen to NWA, they were really activists themselves. They was talking out against police brutality, talking about, social injustices and stuff like that. They just didn't sound like what we would call a conscious rapper. So what was it, a defining moment that you feel like changed the navigations of really trying to have a message to more derogatory programming within the music?
All right, so I'm gonna go a little further, right? I'm just messing this all up. I'm gonna go a little further, right? So in the late 1800s, coming out of slavery, there was a form of music literally called coon music, right? And coon music was white artists who mimicked black people or slaves, and that's where minstrel shows come out of, right?
I was just about to say, like, you talking about cool music, I never heard of that before. But I do, so it's got me thinking about, oh shit, that it was a music form of minstrel show.
It was actually, but they called it coon music, right? And it was a whole genre of music of white people imitating black people, right? And then as time goes on and black people gain semblances of, we don't call it freedom, but we just, you're like, you know what? It'd be better if we just get some real niggas to do it. So they started getting real niggas to mimic white people mimicking black people. So white people look at us, come up with stereotypes, and then write a script and go, okay, we need you black person to play this image of black people, right? So that's what we are. We're consistently playing out white people's fantasies of who we are, right? So when you go up through music and you see like Clive Davis in 1972 to 74 commissioned a think tank at Harvard. It was what do you call it? Just Google Clive Davis Harvard think tank Black music. This was put together to study black people, black music, how black music was disseminated, promoted, marketed, how namely to control the message and then control the resource, right? That was.
So do you think he did a J. Edgar Hoover type thing, but in the music world?
Well, Clive Davis is the one who invented the black music department, and he did that when he brought Gamble and Huff over, Philadelphia International over to Columbia Records, CBS, and that's how they got Michael Jackson, right? So that gave birth to the black music department at a record label. Before that, there was no such thing as a black music department, right? It was black owned record labels all over the country. These independent white and poor white and black, I don't call them poor white, but white and black owned independent record labels. And then
I'm sorry to cut you off, but that kind of goes into Crazy Bone. Bone Thugs and Harmony came out with a video where he was having an interview, and they asked him about that. Like, I think somebody in the industry, the image wasn't revealed, how they was called into a meeting, and within that meeting there were record label execs in there, and the plan was they had to sign like non-disclosure agreements, all kinds of stuff to keep that information, whatever was going to be discussed in that room, airtight. And the topic of discussion was how, because they was, I guess, tied to the private prison system. So how was it going to go about providing music that would initiate violent behavior within the community to further push, black people into the prison system? Do you feel like that goes with that correlates with that?
I don't know if that meeting actually happened. I saw the video you were talking about with Lazy Bone, describing that meeting and what he had. And I've read stories about, that particular happened. It's supposed to be a myth. It never happened. I don't know whether it happened or not. But what I was trying to describe in terms of what was set up by Clive Davis is that they don't have to have a meeting like that. It's already set up for us to sell our ass, right? All they have to do is give a platform to what they deem is valuable, and then we will follow along because we want to get paid, we want to make money, right? So if they say, this is what's hot, this is what we're doing, and they're putting it on whatever platforms, be it MTV, BET, they putting a headlock on social media platforms, the algorithms, they know how to work the algorithm, so you keep seeing a particular thing. If that's what you see, that's what it is. That's what I'm going to do because I'm trying to get on. So you don't really need a meeting like that per se. The system is already set up for us to go in selling ourselves already. And I think that's what we did. Once you realize this is what makes money, somebody's going to do it. Just like somebody going to sell crack, somebody going to sell some old bullshit music because that's what we're doing right now. And if you
you see that difference from last night, even with the verses last night, how hip hop, the sound of it, the messaging, all that changed, and it's so sad that we don't even get that. I mean, we have some, but it's like they let who they want. And even when they do have messaging in their music, it's very limited. Like, it's really not going there. Really not going there at all. It's crazy. That's why it's important for us to have you and major figures like KRS-One. Now, how did you guys meet?
Well, I was a school teacher, had an after-school program, Act Now, African Children of Tomorrow Now, and part of that program was taking students to go see various lectures. Some of the lecturers that I named before, Dr. Ben, John Henry Clark, going to these different study groups and what have you. This is when KRS was doing Human Education Against Lies, and he was doing a lecture tour. He went to Ramapo College, and he went to William Patterson College, and he came to Montclair State. Now, we followed him around as a part of the study group, Act Now, and I would always ask questions, have something to say. He got used to seeing my face. When he showed up at Montclair State, I was a student there. Everybody on campus knows I'm the biggest KRS-One stan. I know you want to see your boy. I know you want to see your boy. So I get in there. I go all the way to the back because I don't really want to play myself and be all thirsty sitting up front. Like, I didn't want to do that. So I'm all the way in the back, standing up. Chris walks in, and the place is packed. 300-400 people in the joint to hear him speak, lecture. He comes in, sees me in the back. Hakim, I've been looking for you. The whole time, yo, he knows how. He said what's up. And then
I know you was hype. I would have been hype.
I was amped, but I had to play it cool. I couldn't be a little too. Yeah. So after the lecture, I want you to come backstage. I want to talk to you. So he invites me backstage. I go back. He's like, yeah, I'm doing this lecture tour. I would like you to come and open up for me and Dr. Jeffries. And then I did a couple lectures with him and Dr. Jeffries, basically talking about the educational system from a hands-on point of view, being in the system at the time. And then didn't even tell him I was doing music. Like, didn't even come at him like that. And about a year later, the company that I was signed to, we parted ways. I chased Chris down, followed him like various places. Eventually hit him off with a demo tape. He called me back some time later, like, yo, I'm in D&D. Why don't you come to the studio? We was there. That's how it went down.
And it was magic from there. How do you say you was a stan? What are some of the most significant things or ways KRS-One influenced you?
How I rhyme, what I rhyme about, knowing that it could be, some quote unquote cool to be knowledgeable, to stand on principle. You know what I mean? Like, just the whole, what the culture is versus what the business is, the separation of the two, knowing that there's these two things. You got the corporate, the business, but then you got the culture, and you got to handle both with respect. You can't bring the corporate all the way, to the culture all the time. And you definitely can't bring the culture into corporate all the time. You got to balance it out. So, that was
yeah, because shout out to Rockness Monster from Helter Skelter. I was fortunate enough to interview him, and I asked him, "Do you feel like hip hop died?" And he gave the most dopest answer. He was like, "Hip hop on the radio died because it was never supposed to be there. Hip hop is always the streets."
There you go. That's exactly the truth. That is exactly the truth. Hip hop never died because we're doing it. As long as we're doing it, it's alive.
Yeah, because I be going to a lot of, like, even when I saw you, I be going to a lot of those where I see not only legendary artists, but I keep my ear to the streets. And some of these people are starting to blow up now. Shout out to like King Streets and Dice Pesos. They just signed to the Bird Gang. But I see they grind like years, before. So, and they got bars. They was, in these streets going performing and stuff like that. And it's a beautiful sight to see. And I hopefully with all these new talents being signed, I think a lot of, legends need to step up and formulate their own teams of new people, because I think that will filter and weed out what they want to put on the radio, especially since, you guys have a lot of influence over a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be the remedy.
Well, it's, because it's like the kid, how you say, he was coming up, high school, it's a popularity contest, right? So you hearing about people who don't go to your school, but their names is ringing in the street for whatever foolishness they doing, or they might be athletes, or they might be, in the streets, or they might be whatever. They popular and they got attention, and they got following, and that translates into their social media presence, right? Where there's an understanding of what they're doing that somebody my age not gonna really understand how to navigate their world. And because they have technology, it's like they got the direct connect right to the market. Like when we was popping when I went to high school, you was popping, there was no social media. There was no way to really turn that into immediate. Now, you got college athletes now who can make money off their name and likeness because they doing numbers in the millions that, like, you see my little bitty numbers.
No, you got dope numbers. I mean, I understand what you mean, but
it's I think what the older generation has to give, like, there's certain lessons that's just always constant, like integrity, principles, morals.
But see, I think that's the downside to it all too, because it loses the integrity, it loses the hustle, and it loses the development, the artist development. The interview that I just finished doing before we touched on that a little bit. I mean, back then when y'all was getting record deals and advances and all that other shit, there was artist development. There was, you had a machine behind you, but even before then, you was being weeded out. Like, you had to be nice. You had to be different. Like, you had to have something behind you. I think with all these, immediate took out the middleman, I think it's great because you got a straight line to your following, and you could grow your following that way. But at the same time, a lot of people do it because it's trending. So let me make a song that sounds like this right now and put the same hashtags and shit like that, and I'm gonna have all these streams, and YouTube gonna cut me a check. It takes the uniqueness out. It takes the integrity out.
But then you get the Lots versus Dipset, right? And when you get the clean glass of water, and not to disrespect Dipset because they got mad hits and I love a lot of the stuff that they do, but when you put the clean glass of water up next to the dirty glass of water, it's obvious where the clean glass of water is. So it's now got everybody really reconsidering a lot of this new shit that's out, that's getting a pass. That's like, wait a minute.
Yes.
Why we get
yes.
When these guys put the time, energy, effort, the practice, the creativity to give us that type of performance, we supposed to get that from everybody, if not better.
Everybody,
especially the Jokers is getting a lot, and they deserve every dime they got. Ain't fun on nobody getting their money. Get that money. It's way more than we was getting in the 90s. Get it. But earn that motherfucker.
Yeah, earn it. Like, I'm tired of, and then that also puts into that perspective too. I'm tired of you just looking good. All right, you got this type of chain on. All right, you wearing such and such and such. But all right, that's not just the culture. That's just the cream on top, the cherry on top. That's not. All right, the real essence of it. And I really feel like, and you know what I really like, since we were on the subject about last night, what I really like about the victory for the Lots and Jadakiss, because all this time, I mean, the streets knew how valuable they were, but they was always slept on as underrated, or they're not, commercialized and stuff like that, so they don't have the sales like a Dipset or something like that. And that shit last night eradicated all of it, and it was great to witness it, because I was here from the beginning of Jadakiss and the Lots. I wasn't, one of these new up-and-coming generations who's just now being put onto it. So to see that manifestation was really dope from a fan of hip-hop to see. Really dope. But before we finish, before we go to the next questions, I really want to continue to touch on KRS-One. You have a new song with him called The Cypher. Can you talk about The Cypher, please?
The Cypher is just that, the Cypher is extremely important in hip-hop culture. you know, be it, you know, MCing, breakdancing, building with the gods, you know, passing weed around the cipher. The cipher is very, very important, and that's where creativity goes down. That's where, you know, the competition goes down. That's where, you know, hip hop, the exchange of hip hop culture goes down within the cipher. So, the cipher's on an upcoming project called Aubrey, entirely produced by Ron Lawrence from the Hitmen. I'm in Ron Lawrence, and the cipher is featuring KRS-One, and you know, Chris is he's the king of the cipher, and so yeah, that's the cipher right there.
Yeah, and like I was saying before, you know, it seems like you Jersey boys, y'all stick together. Like it seems like all of y'all know each other. I also, because I see that you support Dupree Kelly. So can you talk about what that really, how did you meet? Because you know he's also a part of hip hop, a part of the culture. So did y'all meet back then? What was that relationship like? And how do you feel watching him as a person evolve and really being active in his community as well?
Oh, man. So I've known him since the early 90s, but we didn't really develop a relationship until maybe like 10, 12 years ago. Like we knew each other. It was always love, whatever. Jersey, of course. But about 12 years ago, I went back home, East Orange, Newark area, and started doing more community work, getting focused with the community, activism, educational background, bringing that back into play. And Do It All has a nonprofit, 211 Community Impact. So he actually brought me in as a consultant, and we did a number of projects, a literacy program for about a year and a half. We did this event called The Funeral to Bury Violence in Newark, New Jersey, symbolism, and it was sad that we have to do that, but we had to do it. And you know, just to Newark, New Jersey, East Orange, Newark, but particularly Newark with Raz there, you know, the focus on eradicating violence was, you know, really, really important. And out of that was born 24 Hours of Peace. And big shout out to Amiri Baraka Jr., aka Mitty, Raz's brother and chief of staff. He's the one who came up with the idea of having a 24-hour concert. You know, we wanted to do something where, you know, we bring attention to, you know, you say, you know, they never protest black on black crime. Well, we were like, we need to do different demonstrations that's calling attention to what we're doing to ourselves and hip hop's contribution.
And I agree with that so much. Like everybody always want us to ball our fists and pump that shit in the air and be violent and aggressive, but you don't never see those cameras when there are peaceful events, when when our communities have events like that. You really don't see them. And even if it does get some kind of press coverage, it's only a mention, not a real actual focused story. And I'm tired of it. It's like people focus on the negative more than the positive. And going back to y'all being, I think more hip hop artists, especially the real MCs, need to become teachers. I think y'all make the best teachers, especially for our children. You know, because our children don't have that in these school systems. You know, they barely have anybody they can really identify and connect with. And hip hop artists are the main figures that they really relate to. So I really feel like more rap artists, more hip hop historians, people who really made major contributions to the culture really need to, I think that should be a main focus or ways to give back to the community by teaching the youth.
Yeah, I want to circle back around to Do It All, Dupree Kelly, because he's running for city council, Westwood City Council.
Yes.
Team Baraka all day, and you know, it's just a beautiful thing to see somebody from hip hop, you know, get into politics, get into city government. More importantly, local government. That's like really important. So to see that transformation with him, and again, big shout out to the Baraka family, because Raz and Mitty are both like hip hoppers, and Obalaji, and just like where hip hop is. Like we keep looking at hip hop from this gangster thug thing image, but really there's so many of us who are hip hop.
So much more as a lifestyle.
None of that shit. Like we're doing really positive, really powerful, impactful things, but we don't look at it as hip hop. We look at They got us focused on a certain thing as hip hop, and if that's, it's wild. It's like that ain't even really hip hop, really. That's something.
We need to take ownership back over the culture. I think too many people got too many others' hands in our lives and our culture, and because hip hop is more than just music. I mean, I agree with Grandmaster Cass when he says it should be a hip hop committee. I believe that. I think some of the OGs and the pioneers need to sit down and organize something, where we collectively have ownership, not just, the artists, but the people as well. The people, the people that you guys do it for, the people who follow you guys. Yeah. So the Stop the Violence movement, why did it have to be relaunched? Like, what was the hiccup?
What do you mean?
Because I read somewhere it had to be relaunched. The Stop the Violence movement had to be relaunched. So you had to.
Okay, yeah. So the original Stop the Violence movement, was really more of a slogan than anything else. And Carly, what's the brother's name? The writer, Nelson George. They came up with the idea, as far as I've been told, by Chris, and then kind of recruited Chris because of his, what happened with Scott, and just Chris kind of made the perfect kind of face of the thing. And then they did the song Self-Construction. And then that song generated a bunch of money that got donated to the Urban League. It was like $600,000, right? That got donated to the Urban League under the banner of the Stop the Violence movement. And then in 2000, I think it was 7, we reinitiated the Stop the Violence movement as an official nonprofit. And then we did.
So what happened to those funds? Was it never allocated to was it, where did it go? Like,
the Urban League did what they did. They did what they did. We don't know. When we started the Stop the Violence movement as a nonprofit, we did a project called Self-Construction. And it was an album project that went out. But in the midst of the digital era and everything was for free, we basically had to give the project away. And then Chris went around and kind of just co-signed a bunch of other different movements that were in that space. And then I left the Stop the Violence movement, started a brand called the For Life Initiative, which laid the groundwork to 24 Hours of Peace. So 24 Hours of Peace is a 24-hour festival where we promote peace, love, unity, safely having fun. But 24 Hours of Peace is also a series of programs focused on critical thinking, conflict resolution, and character development, using hip-hop to identify transferable skills. So,
I think that's important, conflict resolution. A lot of people are not equipped with that. They really, as soon as, like, something they don't agree with or, it triggers something, a lot of people fall off the deep end. And then I think a lot of that has to do with hip-hop. So I think some of that is set up. That might be another conversation. But, for those that's not a setup, I think, we need to learn that as a people, not to be able to control our emotions and wanting a solution as opposed to just having beef with somebody.
Yeah. Well, these are actual skills that are taught.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, kudos to you for that, because not a lot of people teach that.
Human development, but when we come up, it's, you hit me, I hit you back.
Yes.
Everything's aggression. Everything is, but there's a whole bunch of reasons why that is, and it's a matter of peeling back the layers. Every individual have the ability to peel back the layers to get to the source of the problems, and then build themselves back up. And that takes a lot of work. And we got to be. I think we just have to be real with what the problems are. Mental health is a big issue, and it's understandable considering the trauma, the experiences that our people go through. Just environmental health is horrible. Air pollution, noise pollution, all the different. It's like you need to be able to disconnect, to step back and get with the self and go in. But that's a whole nother bill. I don't want to get too.
No, I mean, I love the gems. I mean, these conversations need to be had because, we need to do better as a people, and but then at the same time, give ourselves some credit too, because we do a lot in the community. You know, it's just those stories never get they unsung. Nobody's really making it a major focus. But even though nobody is, it doesn't mean it's not happening.
That's right.
You know.
Yeah.
And I really feel like that conflict resolution, it really needs to happen. But at the same time, I think to neutralize it and for us to really be healthy, we need to do that on our own. Seek that type of help on our own. And for those that have the knowledge, start, teaming up with people to provide that services, because the world that we living in, they're not going to provide that. That's just more of an opportunity for us to be guinea pigs and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Especially if your help is being paid for, government subsidized, and then with this new world that we have in it, sometimes, you could call anything crazy now, just because you don't believe in a particular opinion, or you have your own set beliefs and way of thinking. If it doesn't correlate with the status quo, then you're crazy and you have a mental illness. So I think, we need to really define those lines and police those decisions ourselves as a community. Yeah. Yeah.
It's layered. It's layered. Yeah. It takes a skill and people who have the ability to really dig in and have the heart to do it correctly, because a lot of people have skills and they misuse those skills for their own personal selfish reasons, and we definitely don't need that. Community goes through enough, but it's a layered situation. But 24 Hours of Peace was created just to use hip hop as a way to promote peace, love, unity, safety, having fun. Instead of promoting bitch, hoe, nigga, guns, instead of promoting that, for this 24 hours, we keeping it focused and keeping the energy on a higher vibration. And this year is September 3rd, September 4th. Broad Market. We did it on Broad Market in 2016. We had Carl Thomas, Fat Joe, Big Daddy Kane, Pam from Total came through. John Amos was there. AJ Calloway was there. It was crazy.
I need to pull up.
Alib Kweli. This year, you know what? We got some really big, heavy hitters locked in already. But I'm going to keep it tucked. I got to keep it tucked because...
Okay. That's going to be my next question.
You got cross T's and dot I's. You got cross T's and dot I's. But just look forward to 24 Hours of Peace in Newark, New Jersey, September 3rd and 4th from 6 to 6, and hopefully maybe a little longer, like 2016, because we need, we need more than 24 hours of peace. We need like a lifetime of it. But that's, a day at a time.
Yeah, we're going to get there. So, Mattism TV, you have a podcast, you interviewing folks, you have a whole vibe. Can you tell us what made you want to podcast or, be in this realm?
Yeah. So, big shout out to Cynical Now Mitra, pseudo online network, 88 Hip Hop. We did a internet talk show that ran for a year and a half from 1997 to 99 called Illegal Broadcasters. 1997.
Oh, Smart, so you was doing this before it was a thing to do this. And it's not even like 10 years. I mean, that's a lot. You said what, 1995?
Because they say if you don't toot your own horn, nobody will.
Wait, but you said 1995 though. That's what you said, right?
97 to 1999.
But still, that's still the same difference. Wow.
Right. So we had a Fat Joe conversation that was ill. We had a Mumia Abu Jamal conversation. We called it ill. We had a gun violence conversation. We had people from the NRA. We had people from gun rights organizations come in. It was phenomenal. Big shout out to the crew, Cynical Almitra, and the whole team. And then what we did with that ran its course because the internet still was still a new thing. So the bandwidth to carry all the information that it was kind of sketchy. But
it wasn't ready. You wasn't too ahead of the time.
2013, we relaunched it. So the first one was me and the other half of Channel Live, Tuffy. In 2013, we relaunched it. Went from 2013 to the beginning of 2015. With me and General Steele from Smith & Wesson.
Shout out to them. Yeah, they about to have the Sean Price joint this Sunday. I'm gonna be out there for that. Shout out to that. Shout out to Bernadette.
Shout out to Bernadette. Shout out to
the whole boot camp clique. We talked about
all that. Like, so we did that. It was twice a month for about a year and a half, and then we did we had an ill conversation with AZ, Uptown AZ. We had a conversation with Davey D and Bob Law, breaking down what we talked about in terms of the history of black music and corporate and how just the hands is all in the. We had an ill conversation with Peter Rosenberg after him and Ebro got disrespectful with Chuck D. That was a dope conversation. We did it for like a year. That was 2013. Before all this other stuff was popping off, and then things happened, shut down. I broke my hand, had to have reconstructive surgery to hand and wrist in 2009, and then that like slowed me down. Then I moved to Florida, got married, and things changed. But now here we are with Madism TV. So Madism. I'm sorry, I went off on track.
No, I love it.
So Madism. Because I was doing the activism and the education stuff, I kind of wasn't really doing it. Like, I was the illest weed man in New York from like 1998 till about 2005. Snoop, Lil Wayne. I have mad stories, by the way. Mad stories just on the weed. That's a whole nother shit. But I had to tuck that to the side from 2005 to about, when Chris said, yo, why you not selling weed? You need to be in LA, KRS. You need to be in LA. Mad Lions killing it out there. Madism, you wild. You need to be doing Madism. So I was like, all right, okay, cool. 20th anniversary was 2015. I did the song Smoke Madism 2015 with Tretch, Do It All, Keith Murray. Big shout out to Domingo who did the track. Big shout out to
Shout out to Keith Murray too. I hope everything is good with him. I haven't seen him in a minute.
God, it's my man right there. So we put that out. And then in 2016, I did What Is Madism with KRS and General Steel. And then I did a joint with Drez. And then I started the ball started going. So 2020 was the 25th anniversary of Madism last year. So I dropped this album, Madism, Who Want This Smoke?
Yeah, the smoke.
Yeah,
I want all the smoke. I want all the smoke.
Smoke. And then I got this joint with Carl Thomas called I Believe, Put It in the Air, produced by DJ Heron. Videos out. Check that out. And so it was like, let's keep the ball rolling. Let me bring back my old interviewing skills. Keep promoting the brand. Started Madism TV. So
do you have your strand? Do you have Madism strand?
No, not yet. I'm just making Madism relevant again.
Yes.
And all the opportunities will come as they're supposed to.
Yes.
Yeah. But
I can't wait to see that. I mean, you should come out with your own strand. Like I'm about to KRS One you. Why you don't got your own strand? Wait, hold on. Let me look for my own lighter. But like, what would you want? Because since we talking about smoke, I want to play a little game with you, right? What is your top 5 throwback strands? You know how back in the day they had like chocolate?
Yeah, like
hydro.
So, we East Coast. Brown weed, dirt weed, seeds and sticks was like the norm for a while. And then I used to get real good.
That backyard boogie.
But then I used to get some real good Jamaican chocolate in Crown Heights. When I was living in Brooklyn, I moved to Brooklyn.
I miss chocolate. Like, if I could find some chocolate, that's all I would sell is chocolate. Like, I swear to God.
And then a friend of mine put me onto a weed spot on East 3rd Street, across the street from Hell's Angels, a little spiritual store. And I used to cop $50 eighths of Hawaiian. And that's when I got turned out. That Hawaiian was right. So I would say the Hawaiian, we said chocolate. I'd say wedding cake I like a lot. Sour.
Yeah, I like wedding cake too.
Sour diesel I like a lot. OG Kush I like a lot.
That's what I'm smoking. That's what this is, OG.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Cookies I like a lot. Like
gelato cookies.
No, I did the first cookies. Just from what's his name, Burner. I guess the gelato cookies is cookies mixed with something else, I guess.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, I like weed. All we do is spark medicine.
Yes.
Yeah, all we do is spark medicine. I pain manage using cannabis, so I'll be going through it. Back pain, neck pain, shoulder pain, and I don't do the pain.
Well, I got some soaps, some CBD soaps, and some THC soaps. Gonna have body butters as well to help with that kind of pain. And we got a secret ingredient other than the normal cocoa butter, shea butter. So if you feel free to check out my page, because I have some soaps. It is natural soaps. They're lightly scented with spiritual and essential oils. So yeah, maybe I can help you out with that. Now you was talking about the 24-hour PC event. You also have another polo event. So can you tell us what's the polo party event and how lit does it get?
Oh man, first and Howard III, big salute.
Wait. Tell the story. I'm listening. I'm gonna just go get my lighter so I can smoke with you.
Yeah. So. Okay. Well, big shout out to everybody in the building, by the way. Strong Tide, salute. OG Mo Diamonds, peace. Polo Champ 74. How do you get your products? Okay, she'll answer that when she get back.
Well, somebody asked me how do I get my products?
The products, yeah.
They made by me, and I'm also gonna have Rose facial tonic. That's gonna be my next soap. I'm gonna make 2. It's gonna be a rose soap. So I use clays, strong butters, but the base oil is hemp. We use it for the whole part of the cannabis plant to help heal. Some soaps are gonna have THC. Some soaps are gonna have CBD, depending on the flavoring and what I wanted to do for the skin and body. So we got the Black African soap. We have the aloe soap right now. The next soaps that I'm gonna produce is the rose soap with the rose facial tonic, and everything is raw ingredients. The facial tonic is made with apple cider raw vinegar and real rose petals. If you go to my page, you'll see the process. I'm doing it. I'm have it on YouTube as well to teach people how to make soaps too. And or even if you don't want to make your own soap, at least you get to see how I make my soap. The ingredients that I use, everything is raw and organic. So it's not gonna smell like Dove or these high. It's not gonna be pink and purple and glitter. It's not that. It's really to nourish your skin, health as well.
Exactly, healthy.
I got my lighter.
Yeah. You know what? I gotta get my charger.
Yeah. So the question was the polo party. So.
Oh yeah, big shout out.
I saw you was giving everybody
big
shout out.
Big shout out to Thurston Howard III. And when I got down to South Florida, he gave me the embrace. I know him from up top, from New York, from Brooklyn.
Big boys. Oh, he paused, folks. Hopefully he get back in the building. But yeah, everybody asking, just DM me right now. They're gonna be on ChaChaLive.media website. Okay, now you back. Oh, before you answer, I hate to keep interrupting you, but can we do like a cheers since I lit my blunt?
Good.
Ready? So cheers. You gotta tap it.
Okay, hold on. I'm sorry. She wants to do a toast. If she got her blunt.
Ready? Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. You see it. Yeah, cheers. And for all you that's not smoking or don't got no smoke on you here. Matter of fact, let me give you a shotgun like back in the day. I don't think people give shotguns, so here's a shotgun.
You going hard right now.
That's a shotgun. Are you high? Did you catch contact? I hope so. Yeah, so the polo party. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so we got the Thurston. he's in the Orlando area right now. In the Orlando area, Low Lifes is just really, really thick, really, really busy, and they're doing some big things. And they invited me up to co-host, and of course, it's family right there, so I had to make that happen. And then the following day, we're going to be doing the Madison Cypher. And that's going to be streamed live on the Madison TV platform on Facebook and YouTube. You can catch it on August 29th. That's the day after the polo party on August 28th, 2 to 5 Eastern time. And we're going to have some ill MCs come bless the mic. You'll catch it live on the Madison TV platform for free. You know what I mean? Some great entertainment on August 29th, Madison TV, Facebook. It's Madison.info. Facebook, Madison.info. And YouTube, Madison TV.
Yes. I just want to take this time out to really salute you and give you your flowers. Thank you for not only being one of hip hop's dope MCs, but also being a teacher. I think that's very important, being a part of the community to make us better, and I really want to salute you and give you your flowers for that because, especially as a mother, I got 4 sons, and I see the kind of stuff I be trying to save them from on a daily basis, especially the programming on TV and devices. I just wish that more artists, more rappers would be that, being a teacher is cool shit. We need to make that cool. We need to start building schools and shit. I think that's a part of our problem. We need to have more schools and educate ourselves and, be more of an active role in that. So kudos to you.
Queen, do we have time for me to spit something?
Yes, a little bit. Hold on. We got a few minutes, so you can get ahead.
All right. Only pimp I know is how to pimp the system. Time to eat food, I'll lay up in the kitchen, mixing, cooking them up for you, listen. Higher elevation for my people on a mission. Just ride with me, fall back and catch a vision of a world where we add no subtract, no division. No brothers left in prison, no sisters with addiction. No need for police, we formed a coalition. We taught our daughters math and our sons to build bridges. Collect a lot of families and raise them out the ditches. We all value self, we all had riches. Is it a dream? Cause it seemed time switches. Say it isn't so, it's real when I flow. If you ask me if I'm hip-hop, I answer how I know. If the mind can see it, it can be achieved. I know it like I know it, it's not hard to believe. Money made it rain, but never from the snow. Nobody had a cold, nobody had the blow, but everybody had dough. And lots of self-respect, nines and texts. Oh, my bad.
Yes! Yes, bars. Yes, I appreciate you. Oh my God, that was fire. Yeah. So before we go, is there anything you would like to tell somebody, or you just want to leave on that note?
No, I want to send a big shout out to Slim Edition and the real LSD is in the building. Shaughnessy, I see you. Everybody that tuned in, Melissa Brown, Gems, Pieces, how you doing? Everybody that tuned into your show to check me out. Big shout out to MC Shan.
Yes, he's next. He's up next.
The legendary MC Shan.
Yeah, well, if you watch him, I might bring you back in the building and stuff. But let me just run through his shit.
I'm just gonna fall back and be in fan.
Okay.
And be in fan mode.
With the whistle, I can't wait to talk to that nigga right there.
I'm gonna be in fan mode and just check that out.
That nigga's funny
because he's a legend, and that's one of our big brothers that very influential and impactful in the whole culture. So it's dope that you have him on.
Yes, and you don't know how blessed this makes me feel. Like, I feel like on some real shit, all of you guys are my family in my head. Like, really. Like, and I'm glad I was alive. I don't care how old I was, young, whatever. But y'all was all of y'all was the soundtrack to my life. You know what I'm saying? Like, I live, eat, and breathe this shit, and it's just amazing that I had the opportunity to even talk to you guys. The people that I admire so much. So thank you. Thank you for wanting to be on my platform. I'm so grateful, yo.
Yeah, plus, you was at the Tariq Buzz event. So right there, it's
yeah.
Shout out to Tariq Buzz.
Bro. Shout out to Peacemaker, right. The whole team over there. Yeah. Hell yeah, that's definitely the bro. But yeah, I gotta go. But thank you so much, yo.
Peace, Queen.
Bye. Yes, dog. Triple.com Wednesday, dog. I'm really playing with time right now, and I don't want to hold the legend up, the pioneer up. I don't want to hold that nigga up. Not Shizzle with the whistle. One time for your mind, two times for your stove. What? I'm done, but I need to close this off because I don't want nothing to interfere with that interview. I want to be able to post this up, one and done, and let's get to the next one. Shout out to Hakim Green for an amazing interview. So many gems was being dropped. Shout out to everybody that was in the comment section. And if you're watching this on YouTube, please hit that notification bell and that subscribe button so you can get all our amazing interviews as we post them. I really appreciate y'all. Y'all don't know how emotional I'm trying to keep my shit together because I don't want to fuck up my makeup. But this is epic. This is so epic. And don't go nowhere. Let me post this. I'll be right back. We're going to get back with the legendary MC Shan. Let's get it.